Yeah, we find her, the beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. Say go so, the remix.
DMB, Tuck Spice, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give you the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes, I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the mother dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us on your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty, what's worth of a lady. It's nice but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time within a juggle of an eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. It was right at the pen station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so charmed. I felt the sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. And now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, a killing eye. I found me a beautiful girl.
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe. Shaped like a cocoa bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty. I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk. She must be from the planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger. We look good together. Take your place in my heart with your beauty. I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
Such the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep staring in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. Your beauty shines and breeze at night. All I really want in my life. Oh yeah. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, killing tight. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl, beautiful girl. Yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money, you seen her? Hot Ice, have you seen her? LP, have you seen her? I'ma go over to Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's DMB, baby. Look.
Beautiful.
I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time after time, I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile.
What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer. And when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace of her presents and gifts, call me Santa. Claus, I make a heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me Aston Kutcher, I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'ma go get her. Since I'm a go getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world, anything for my beautiful girl.
Psych. Ooh, it's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine, brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it, beautiful girl. Sparkling night, killing time. I found a beautiful girl.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
Welcome back. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen of Prestige on a day. Let me just make sure audio is good. All right, we're looking good. Good to see you all. Welcome back. Let's make sure we start properly here. Welcome. Awesome. All right, good. Today we're talking about, shout out to Olaido. I know you were here much earlier. Good to see you. Welcome. Do me a favor, as you're coming in, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. We have quite a few things to cover today on this topic. Monique Samuels, reality TV star, husband, ex-NFL player. Yesterday they filed for divorce. Yesterday the news broke out that they filed for divorce. So, and that's what we're talking about today. Just wanted to bring us up to speed. Let me see here. How's everybody doing? Good? I hope you had a good day. Hey, Natu, how you doing? Good to see you. I hope you had a good day as well. All right, and shout out to everybody that will watch replay later. Good to see you in replay. But anyway, yeah. So we're talking about Monique and Chris Samuels. There's a lot of lessons in this. This is definitely not a session to miss. Okay, I'm just trying to restart my notes here. Hold on 1 second. That way we have material. We do have a video to react to. I think I'm probably just gonna go with the video, and but I wanted to bring us up to speed. A little bit of timeline. I think they got married 10 years, a little bit over 10 years ago. They had been together for 16 years. Okay, 16 years, no be beans. 16 years they had been together. But let me see here. Why is this still not updating? Okay. All right. That's cool. So they had been together 16 years. A couple of things. They were on two different reality TV shows. I think they were on Real Housewives of Potomac in Maryland, and they were also like the flagship stars of Love and Marriage, the DC spinoff. And the way they were introduced to the second show was basically them arguing with each other. All right, but today, today I'm going to react to a video that they did not too long ago. but a video where they were basically having a conversation. Really, the lesson that I wanted to extract out of this, I'll just tell you up front right now, is that these things can happen to anyone. Okay? These things can happen to anybody. It can be anybody. Anybody can end up in divorce. Okay? It's not just bad people that end up in divorce. I think I always say that, right? It's not just bad people. Good people with good intentions end up in divorce all the time. All right? But basically what she was complaining about was unmet, unheard issues in their marriage for a long time. She became frustrated, and she cried out for help in weird ways. Yet the most common way that most women cry out for help, they cry out to the wrong people, the wrong way. They don't really know any better for the most part. They have children 9 and 7 years old. So anytime a family break apart like this, is sad, but really all we can do is see if we can learn 1 or 2 lessons from it. Okay? And that's what we're about to talk about. Shout out to you. Hey, Lady Never. Good to see you here. I see you. I was just saying hello to you on the other side. Lena says, I noticed that real housewives often get divorced. Well, that's one of the things that we should probably note here. She did say that Real Housewives of Potomac actually saved her marriage for a long time. So they were already in trouble before they got on the show. All right. So I do have a video here that we're going to react to here. In a minute here, we're going to get started with this video. She did say, shout out to the Candid Black Girl who put this video up there. She said the show saved her marriage for a long time. So they were supposed to have been fell apart a long time ago, but I guess being on the show kind of kept them together. I would argue against that as well, but in general, I know what she meant by that, but in general, the show is environmental factor. Okay, the show is environmental factor, just like the weather. You can't blame the weather for your results. You can try to make an excuse for it. You can say, hey, this was one of the reasons why I didn't make it to work. If it's extreme, like a snow day, that like a blizzard, everybody is snowed in, that's a different ballgame. But a rain, sunshine, you can't really blame those things. So if you get on the show, I consider that external factors, right? External factors can help you magnify what was already there, right? That's all it can do, right? It's like money, right? Money will help you amplify the status of your relationship. So it might break apart faster, but it was gonna break up anyway. So it's one of those things. So but I agree that a show like that, the level of attention that comes with that can magnify the troubles with the marriage and make things move even faster in the wrong direction, right? So in terms of help them keep the show together, well, it's almost like you're brushing things under the rug because they're paying you to come on the show and argue, right? So it's weird. We'll see. Lady Nova said, why is that though? And when you say real people would be petty and say, well, then they wouldn't gotten one if they real ones. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're saying. But are you saying why is it that real people, good people, end up in the courts? Because we're human beings, It's about skills. It's about game. It's either you have the skills or you don't. Outside of skills, a little bit of luck can play a role, but ultimately, if you don't have the skills, when real life hits you, when it hits you in the face, do you have the skills to maintain, to course correct, do you have the skills? Most people don't, okay? Some people are lucky, but I think it's skills. At this point, we can't afford to think anything outside of skills. You have to start paying attention and keep our homes together, keep our family together, right? So I understood what she meant as well. Yeah, I know what she meant by help them keep it together, but keep it together not for so long, right? It only help you push the trouble, like you push the issues under the rug for long enough. Eventually, the truth is undefeated, right? Tiroban Lologo do one day Otoba. So for those of you that may not be familiar with this couple, they are on a reality TV show. They were until recently. It looked like they decided not to go back on the TV show because they were kind of insinuating they were being exploited, and it was going to cause the breakup. But the marriage was already in shams, so. But and you can see that in this conversation they're about to have right now. So let's just get ahead and get in this right now. So they got on Love and Marriage. The first scene that they were on Love and Marriage DC. It's a show that my wife and I watch up to recently. We stopped watching it. But the first scene, it was basically them just arguing back and forth, and it seemed like he was trying his best to understand, or maybe the cameras were around. It was just a very weird conversation, and it's also quite indicative of how bad their situation had gotten. So, but we're going to see a lot here. Let's just get into this video and take it from there. And I'm just going to react as they go, okay? And then at exactly 10:59, we'll shut it down. By that time, you should have gotten at least 3 or 4 lessons. If that's all you got tonight, it's good. That's good, right? All right. And by the way, if you disagree, you got smoke, please bring it up. Let's talk about it, okay? Let's go.
Have to smack my woman up, make her shut up.
Oh, whatever.
So every now and then
What you mean you tired?
Hey, no, for real, I just go on chill and let her take the bull by the horns every now and make her feel good about
I
herself.
don't want to take the bull by the horn. I actually would love for Chris to be the bull, and then I'm just sitting on top of that thing. You know what I'm saying? Not just sexually. I'm talking about in the...
All right. So a little banter there. That's nice. Chinye, how far? Good to see you, Chinye. A little banter there. That's cool. I wish, like, based off of, because I watched this already, I'm just reacting with you now. I wish they spent a little bit more time in the banters. I think a lot more people need to spend more time bantering and having fun than all this serious, we need to have this conversation, that conversation. No, they should have talked about it. Why didn't they talk about it? I hear that so much. I'm like, stop it. If it was working, everybody will be figuring this out. Clearly, that's not working. Talk about everything. It's not working. It's not working because you knew that even before you were born. Talk about everything up front. Know everything up front. It's not working. It's about knowing how to react in real time when there's crisis. It's not about preventing crisis from happening, because that doesn't exist. Okay? Crisis will happen in life. It's the reality, okay? It's going to happen in life, So I wish they spent a little bit more time bantering. She seemed like she spent a whole lot of time correcting him, trying to raise him. She seems like it. And it seems like he spent way too much time trying to please her. There's a balance. There's a balancing act in trying to please your partner and still being attractive to them, staying attractive to them, making sure that you keep the fire alive. Okay, there's a balancing act there. On the surface, on paper, it makes sense to just please your partner, and that's all it takes, and everybody should be happy. I put it to you like this: you're going to try to please your partner, and that's going to be precisely what they will end up resenting. I know it sounds crazy, right? What, you're supposed to just please them on paper? Yes, on paper it sounds cute. In reality, that's just not how it works, and you have to pay attention to that, okay? And how do you pay attention to that? Pay attention to their actions. If you're trying to please them and it looks like you're not generating results that you're looking for, maybe that's not working, okay? So you can actually see it in this conversation play it out, okay? You can see it playing out in this conversation.
Our marriage with everything, and that is the big conversation that that we are having while y'all are watching the show is that basically I'm like, look, I don't want to play all the roles. I just want to be.
So you can see somebody in the comment. This was a Instagram live, say, girl, you don't have to be soft, be you. That's a terrible advice. Don't listen to that, please. Okay, they don't know you like that. Don't listen to strangers give you such advice. Okay, growth is part of life. It's actually a need, a basic human need. Okay, and growth contradicts the idea of just be you. I'm just being me. No, that's contradictory. Sometimes you just know better and you do better, right? So don't listen to people say just be you and never change for anybody. That's at the very minimum. Please make sure you assess that properly, because that's never an absolute. Sometimes you adjust. Precisely what she was asking the husband to do. Like, hey, what we're doing wasn't working. You need to adjust. Imagine him saying, no, I'm just going to be me. How is that going to work out, right? Go make sense. And yet you see people flunk this kind of advice all over the place all the time.
Sit back and just be me. And, you know, that's been the dynamic of our relationship for so long. So he's a Leo. I'm a Libra.
A rich Leo. So
see, we ain't asked for that.
No, I'm just saying.
Nobody
though.
asked for your wealth status. Nobody asked about rich or nothing.
No.
Somebody asked what your sign was. Go ahead.
Can I talk? So Monique is right. I agree with Monique. I let her take a little bit too much, you know, on her plate.
We gotta get this recorded right here.
No, I'm being real.
I know. I'm trying to capture this moment. Go ahead.
Put it on YouTube. No, so I let her put a little bit too much on her plate, and it's my fault. You know, I had brought a lot of bread to the table, so I kind of justified it and let her do what she needed to do. And ultimately, it's not working now. And
so it brought a lot of money to the table and just let her do what she wanted to do. And he said that's not working right now, you know. A lot of people are saying being real is good. Okay. Yeah, sure. Being real is good. What do you mean by that? Okay. I think being real is good too. It depends on, now that depends on if we mean the same thing. Are we saying the same thing or, you know, totally different things, right? So a lot of times I might say being real is good and you say being real is good, but we're actually speaking completely different things, right? So I would definitely, again, the talking points are becoming real. Okay, they're becoming real problems for people, right? Now, if you look at the way they just play back and forth and they kind of like a slight disagreement there, put the camera back on your face, this, that, like there's some, it's not about what they were saying per se, but you start to pay attention, there's some tension there, right? There's almost like somebody's, I don't know, maybe you can tell yet, somebody's walking on eggshells. Yeah, that's not gonna last. It's not sustainable. Right? You want your partner to feel free around you. You want to love in a way that they feel free around you, and vice versa, both ways, right? But all you can worry about is you. You need to make sure, you need to do everything in your power that your partner feels free around you. And then you need to be sensitive to if they're coming off as they're walking on eggshell, as opposed to being sensitive to how they offend you. Listen, that's the easy part. If your spouse, your partner is offensive, it's easy to pick that up because you're offended clearly, right? The work is when you are sensitive, when you build the muscle to be sensitive to, are they walking on eggshells around me? Because why? Because if you know long term, that's not gonna last. Because the real them, the balance, right? The equilibrium is going to have to be stricken at some point. They're going to go back to their center, even if it's by force at some point, right? So if you look at this interaction, you start noticing somebody's walking on eggshells.
And she's been asking me for a while to step up and handle certain things. I'm being real about it, you know, so
listen,
it is what it is.
This is the thing.
Somebody says she too serious. Calm down, lady.
You gotta censor this before
you also gotta read the comments, baby.
I ain't reading.
Somebody said, did he just start doing that? No, this has been being how you are.
Somebody said, Monique, you do talk too much. They're coming for her in the comments, and she's seeing it, and she's about to react to all of it. How you react to one thing in life tends to be how you react to everything else in life. How you do one thing tends to be how you do everything else in life. It's just who you are. It's your personality, your temperament. It's just the way you are. So imagine when there's no cameras on and it's just the two of them together, right? How does she react? She's not wrong, okay? She's not wrong. She has real life issues that she's reacting to, right? But remember, it's not about right and wrong. It's not. It's not about being a perfect person. It's not about being a good or bad person, okay? Both good and bad people, mostly good people, end up in divorce courts, okay? So we need to start paying attention.
This is how it's been the entire time we've been married. And I was about to say that. This is how it's been since we've been dating. So what happened was, I used to be Chris's business manager. I was like working for him. Once we started dating, I started working for him shortly after, right? So while we were dating, while he was playing in the NFL and everything else, I was handling everything, right? So in that sense, if I had to be the bad guy, if I had to look bad so that Chris can look great, if I had to handle whatever I handle, because not just because we were together, but because I was working for him, it was my job, I did that. So when we got married, before we got married, we had conversations in marriage counseling. And I basically said to him, this has to change. Because if we're now married, I can't keep covering you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're the man of the house. Like, you got to cover me.
There's been
Like,
some
we got
situations where I've looked at too. But it's been some situations where I should have looked at more for you.
It should have been. So we went into our marriage the same way that we were dating and doing business together, which was a huge mistake. We should have divided that line and made it very clear before I even walked down the aisle, honestly. So, and we both acknowledged that. So it's been a huge effort on both of our parts, me to let go and then also Chris to pick it up for the past decade. And what you're witnessing now is Monique, who is on her last leg and who is like, I'm fed up. I'm tired of having the same conversation all the time, and I really need for change.
All right, so you could see.
Fed up. I'm tired of having the same conversation all the time, and
Somebody said, Monique, shut up, please, right? You can see that in the comments there. Let me see if I can make it bigger for you to see, right? Somebody said, Monique, shut up, please. So people, it's like 50-50. Some people are coming for her. Some people are saying, hey, speak your truth, right? Yeah, that's speak your truth stuff, right? Now, those people that are coming for her, I don't think it's necessary to. Listen, it's a very difficult thing they're going through, right? And this is personality clashes, temperament clashes all over the place. This is what causes these issues for the most part. Okay, most people in divorce court are now people going through paternity fraud. They're not, like, it wasn't triggered by cheating. Yeah, a lot of people end up cheating, but that's usually, like she said, last leg. That's like something that was more of a symptom, right? That's a way. It's a way, like, people use bad behaviors to fill voids, right? They do it all the time, including what she's doing right now, including overreacting to every little issue, right? That's still bad behavior, but it's a reaction. It's basically a reaction to other things going on. So when it feels right, people do all the wrong things because they're trying to correct what is feeling wrong, right? So yeah. So people are coming for her. Coming for her is not going to solve the issue. And I'm just looking at this issue. Really, what I want to highlight today is that, again, this can happen to anybody. What you should pay attention to is your blind spot. What could be in your blind spot right now? You have your reasons why you're reacting the way you're reacting, but the devil is going to use that same reason as a good excuse to perpetuate bad behavior. Either we're talking about cheating, talking too much, everything has got to be a conversation, insulting your partner, your wife, your husband, because it's justified, right? And it feels good in the moment, right? But what about long term? Are you paying attention to the long term effect of this? Have you spent some time highlighting the strength of this your partner, or you just spend most of the time reacting to their weakness and the offensive nature of their weaknesses, right? These are the questions I would want you to ask. For them right now, it's too late. It's 87% chances that it's too late. When people separate, there's only a little bit of a 10% chance that they will ever come back together ever again. Okay, according to some studies. So she already filed for divorce. When she filed for divorce, she tried to seal the document. There's a lot of stuff going on there, right? There's much more than what you see on TV too, right? It's bad. But you can look at this guy. When a guy comes to sit down with you on a live session where he has to walk on eggshells, does it mean it's worth it to save the marriage? No. Okay? But you might want to pay attention to that, because if it was a guy who is full of pride, who is operating from a place of pride, he would never sit down in front of a live session talking to a bunch of strangers where he has to watch every word he says, right? But, let's see how it goes again. That's something he has to hold himself accountable for as well. Because you're responsible to learn how attraction works. You can't say, hey, she made me want to please her. And that's not, you can't say that. That's a terrible excuse too. You're supposed to watch actions at the end of the day, because actions speak louder than words.
I really need for change to happen, not just saying, all right, I'm gonna do better. All right, I'm gonna do better. So that's where we are currently in this show. And for the people that keep saying, Monique, but you need to be quiet, you also have to remember we're filming a reality show. If it were like a normal everyday scene, first of all, when you're doing reality TV, your subconscious and your conscious mind has to be verbalized. So if I'm doing a lot of talking in the scene, it's because if I'm not driving the scene, we're not talking about anything.
All right, so Monique didn't get it, that they weren't talking about the scene. They were talking about right here, right now in this live session. Okay? They're talking about right here, right now during this live session. But, Shalaye is a bastard. She had to do explaining of everything, because she needs to validate. Not only does she need to validate, she needs to be validated. And and you can see that guy is quiet. Just look at his face next to him. He's trying to do the right thing, right? And what happens that when you overdo trying to do the right thing too, if it's not real, if it's not coming from an authentic place, if you're pouring from an empty cup, you're going to blow up when you do blow up. And that anger is going to be bad, okay? Because you suppress. So what is the solution? Should you have been arguing with her? No, that's not what I'm saying. I think this live session is a terrible idea. They should have kept the TV show as the TV show. After the TV show, they need support systems. They need to stop talking when there's no support system around, especially when she's self-proclaiming that I'm on my last leg, right? So the last thing you ever want to be is being like an overpleaser. It doesn't work. That's not really what they're asking for. When your wife says, I need you to do this, do that for me, and then you're overpleasing her, or you're trying to please her and you're doing it just because, it's not going to work. It's not coming from an authentic place, right? It can work if you make sure that you're pouring from not an empty cup, from a full cup. Then it will work. What that means is that you actually take the time to understand why you're doing what you're doing. It starts from little things as apologies, right? If you're apologizing for something, make sure you understand why you're apologizing. Don't just apologize to push issues under the rug. It will backfire. It becomes resentment. Eventually, you ask yourself, why am I the only one apologizing all the time, right? What do you mean all the time? That means all those times you were apologizing, you didn't mean it, right? You were just doing it to please the other person. It doesn't work.
We're just going to be sitting there. Like
so
this.
She's just explaining the show. It wasn't about the show.
No, I will say this. I didn't know that was my cue. I'm sorry.
It wasn't a cue.
See, you just said I'm sorry. I didn't know that was my cue. I'm sorry.
I was showing them exactly what would happen.
No.
And you just did it.
and then it's now have a urge to explain.
Do it again. No.
If they stay in that kissy moment, if they could stay in that kissy moment, how perfect would the world be? Their world, how perfect would it be? But they can't. They must explain everything to strangers. Okay? But it didn't start with the strangers. In the course of their argument between each other all the time, that's toxic argument. That's essentially what is happening. I need you to validate me. You need to tell me I'm right. And both people are doing that. It's not going to work. Right? It's not going to work because no one is listening, right?
No kids weak. No, I will say this. I forgot my point.
How sweet would it be if he actually forgot the point and never came back to the point? The worst she's going to say is like, I knew it. You never take me seriously. Like, no, of course I do take you seriously. Can you remind me the point? No, I do take you seriously. No, but then she's going to be mad if I don't remember. Not necessarily, okay? She might say she'll be mad if you don't remember. But really, this laugh on her face right now is really all you're trying to sustain for longer periods of time. Especially when you're both laughing together. Okay? However way you're going to get into this space in a sustainable manner over time, that's what you're looking for. Not the semantics, not the exact what it was supposed to be when I was right and you were actually wrong at that time. All this extra stuff that people engage in. Communication. In the name of communication is BS. You're not communicating, you're not hearing each other. Okay? And the worst part about all of it is that you're not creating results. What is results? What you're looking at on the screen right now. That will be result. Not just in this moment, over time. Sustained over time. But they probably don't know how to do that. They couldn't. Because a few minutes ago, she was talking about she's on her last leg. Yet they had moments where they could get to laughter like this. This moment is real. If this moment right now is real, now I believe this moment is real, as a matter of fact. Right? And if this moment is real, how sweet would it be if we can find a way to simplify, like, see, this moment of laughter is what we're looking for. And we need to bring it down to this. How did we get here into this moment? Can we find a way to sustain this over time? Right? Yeah, they probably couldn't, because the obsession with being right, it kills attraction. It's only a matter of time.
She kissing on me, man. Like, things starting to happen down in my trousers.
Oh my
you know what I'm
gosh.
saying? But anyway, no.
He's still very much attracted to his wife.
I appreciate Monique, and a lot of people might be like,
Did you say somebody just said stop saying sorry, Chris?
no, I appreciate Monique.
If you look on there, somebody just says stop saying sorry, Chris. Now, you might look at that, you might be like, why can't he say sorry if he's actually sorry? All right. So if we're talking, is it morally speaking, what's the word I'm looking for? If we're talking about right and wrong speaking, right, that's what we're talking about. Then but unfortunately the human brain does not work like that. The human brain works based off of attraction. Okay, it responds to seduction. Okay, number 10, right and wrong obsessed. Either you are the perpetrator or the victim or the victor, or whichever side you fall on in that equation. If you're obsessed with right and wrong, you will kill attraction. If you're a moral police, okay, blame, fault, judgment, condemnation, these things will kill attraction. Anti-seducers, right there. Suffocator, neediness. Number 3, moralizer, police, moral police. It will kill attraction. Okay. Weird, self-conscious. Number 5. That's the I'm sorry. No. Oh, did I offend you? See those kind of things. And people are like, but this is marriage. Exactly. You thought those things were over because you're in a marriage, a 10 years old marriage. In fact, that's when you need the game the most. So what is the point of it if I have to manipulate people all the time? No, you don't have to manipulate people all the time. You need to find an easier way to do life and have some fun. Stop being so serious. That's the issue, okay? That's the issue. Actually, I'm asking you to relax, literally. There's nothing wrong with him saying, I'm sorry, per se. It's just like, it seems like it's a consistent theme. He's walking on eggshells. None of them, neither one of them are doing anything wrong, right or wrong. It's not about that. But the outcome is wrong. Right now we know that since April, they filed for divorce. She filed for divorce. It still wasn't enough. The key thing is that pleasing people, if you're an over pleaser, it's still never enough for people. I don't know if you realize that. It's still not enough for most people, right? So there's something bigger than what they are running their mouth saying. It's much more about their actions. There's something they respond to. And you might be like, so am I supposed to read mine? Maybe, I don't know. But you have to do something because we're talking about your family right now. There's something they respond to in action. That's what you should be paying attention to. Okay? When they're speaking and they're speaking in words, you should be listening actively. Why actively? Why not just listen to the words? Because you need to align it with their action. It needs to align. If it's not aligning with the action, you need to focus more on the action. Okay? You're listening actively also more so because it makes them feel heard. They feel heard. They feel seen. Okay? They feel valid. Okay? Why? Why should they feel valid? Because significance is a basic human need. Okay? That's precisely how they are going to get to number 4, connection. They're going to feel connected to your feelings, not necessarily a cable connection. Okay, not a physical thing. It's a feeling. They need to feel connected to you. How do they do that? They feel heard. They feel like their needs are being met. What do I mean by needs? Look at the needs on the screen. There's 6 basic needs according to this theory on the screen, right? They feel like the presence of just you make them feel heard. They feel like their needs are being met. They feel valued. They feel significant. They feel heard. They feel secured, right? Right? And I'm sorry, at some point, they need to show that in their gesture. They're having fun in a sustainable manner. I'm not talking about flying to Bali or to Kenya or Tanzania, all that nonsense, right? I'm talking about just people showing their feelings, right? And that's really what you should be doing. So it's listening to respond. It's not listening particularly to understand, right? It's not listening to see what makes her laugh when she does laugh. What makes her banter a little bit? What pushes her away from when she's like, that's my last leg, right? Why would she shut down this life right now and want to go and blow your brains out? He's probably not paying attention. He's just trying to please her. If she can just shut up. I'm sorry, babe. I'm sorry. If you can just shut up. What's the quickest, fastest way to get her to shut up? Say, I'm sorry. It doesn't work. Not in long term. Okay? It will work for a short period of time and then it's just not sustainable. Okay?
And a lot of people might be like, Monique is mouthy, she's bossy, she don't like her husband, she's going in on her husband. But I appreciate her for saying something. Because how many women out there will sit back and not say anything and be miserable until they're divorced or miserable until they die. And they stay in a marriage that they're not happy with. So it's certain things that she's been voicing, and I'll be honest, I missed the mark on it. And as much as she at times can get on my nerves of voicing these certain things, I'm finally actually starting.
Someone just called her a gold digger in the chat. That's harsh. She will overreact. You're not helping her. You're not helping Chris either. If you say that to her, she's going to go, yeah. She's going to punish him more for that.
To see myself, and I see that I need to change a few things so I can actually make her happy and make myself happy. It's a couple things that I really didn't understand.
So the make myself happy part, I didn't believe it, right? I agree with him. That's what needs to be done, but I just didn't believe him, right? I'm looking again. I'm watching the vibe, the energy. I'm looking at what I saw on the show. It just seems like he was trying so hard. He couldn't let go. You need to let go. We've talked about that over the past few sessions, right? Letting go is one of the hardest things to do, and sometimes it's mixed in with it's confusing. It's like a blurry line between letting go and fighting for your family, right? The way you fight for your family is to make sure you're not pouring from an empty cup. Listen, if she sees value in staying with you, she will stay. If she doesn't see value, not necessarily your fault, not necessarily her fault, sometimes life just goes that way. If she doesn't see value, she will not stay no matter what you do. So if you're pouring from an empty cup, you're always going to lose. If you're making sure your own cup is full before you pour into other people, you're always going to win, regardless of what happens. And by the way, you increase the chances that your marriage is safe.
About myself that I was doing or the way I was. So I own it. It is what it is. I'm not like this terrible guy, but I'm not perfect either. And there's a few things that I can work on to be better. And if my wife needs me to step up in certain areas that I feel like, or she felt like I hadn't been doing, then it is what it is. And for the longest, I looked at the finances that I brought to the table. You know, she lived a great lifestyle. I uplifted her in that area.
Somebody said, hold on to your love. You see this nice speech it's making right now, there's nothing wrong with it, right? As long as it's put into action, right? But it can completely go wrong by the type of response she gives right now, right? How she responds to this. Like if a man is pouring his heart out and he's saying this and he's trying, he's putting in the work, right? It's a very tricky thing because we can't hold her accountable for responding how we want. We can't manipulate her into that, right? It's like you can't manipulate people into forgiving you fast enough. You just have to be patient, right? But the question is that, is this sustainable? Can he sustain doing that if she doesn't respond positively fast enough, right? But, you know, we all want to be rewarded for good behavior. Being a good boy, you know, all right, rewarded, here's some candy. You want that at some point, right? So if you can't sustain, because it's going to take her a while, especially if the damages is too bad, right? To get to that point where she's like, oh, babe, that's okay, right? But if you look at her face right now, it looks like she might have heard this before and she just doesn't believe him, right? She's just not there.
Blah, blah, blah.
Or she's just reading the comments and she's getting pissed off the more she reads the comment.
But at the end of the day, it's more to it. It's small things, but really they're big things. So it's certain areas that
somebody even said in the comment, I can't wait for my husband to come to this realization, Chris.
I need to step up in, and I own that.
Then the same person, a woman, it looks like, says, stop apologizing. You were making the money. You're a good dude. Making money doesn't equal to good dude. But the apologies is the vibe of the apology theme on live session is quite a bit, especially if it's not being received. If a person is not asking you for apology yet, you're better off practicing active listening. Okay, don't be so much in a haste to apologize. Just listen actively, try to understand what's going on. Don't listen to respond, because listening to respond leads to unwarranted, unsolicited apologies. They don't work, okay? They look cute to the people on the sidelines that don't know any better. They say, oh yeah, he's apologizing, at least he's been a good dude. No, it actually could be a manipulative tactic. By apologizing too soon. I'm sorry, I apologize. If you're doing too soon or you don't understand what you're apologizing for, we can actually connect that and argue that that's actually a manipulative behavior. But let's keep going.
I'm not going to shy away from it. And I'm up for the challenge because I want us to make it.
Chris did lose weight. He lost a lot of weight.
I lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, we all stopped
My thing got
eating.
bigger too.
So the only thing she picked out of what he said so far is that he lost a lot of weight. So he must have gained weight and lost himself. She didn't find him attractive anymore. All right, I'm sure she can come back and make an argument. I just want him to be healthy. Yeah, right. But I believe you. But but he threw a little banter in there. It says, "My thing got bigger too." Keep it up. Don't fret. Keep the banters up. Okay. If it makes her laugh, keep it up. Okay.
Chris did lose weight. He lost a lot of weight.
I lost a lot of weight.
Yeah, we all stopped
My thing got
eating.
bigger too.
We all stopped eating.
You look
meat.
young like we talking like that.
Cause that's
I'm
all you
ignorant.
talk about.
It did get bigger though. You gonna cuss me out later.
Stop apologizing. You were making the money. You're a good dude. Being a good dude has nothing to.
She scrolled all the way back to stop apologizing. That one comment that felt negative to her, she scrolled all the way back up and read it out loud, right?
Do
No, I'll handle it. Be quiet.
All right. So if a man is making money, right, and let me tell you this right now, gentlemen, if you're making money, that doesn't make you a good dude. It just makes you a provider, okay? And that's not enough. To be a father, to be a husband, it's not enough. Now, ladies, listen to me carefully. It's not your space to say that. It's not your place to say that. Okay? You don't get to say, but that's bare minimum. You're talking to another human being, right? So now you're supposed to process all of that, right? Because it takes hard work, real hard work for him to go make that money. And he's supposed to be a superman and not just feel some type of way when you just literally use your mouth to water down, no matter how little it seems that it brings to the table. I don't know if you expect any good product from saying that, right? It's not nice. That's the bottom line, okay? You need to focus on what you want and stop watering down what it already does, right? Because I hear that a lot, like, people even say this to their own father, okay? All he did was spend money and he was never a good father. Well, you were the child, I guess. So I'll leave you alone for that. But when it comes to you being an adult wife to a man, you got to be careful with that. Not because you're doing him a favor, because you'll be doing yourself a disservice by saying that he's going to feel some type of way, as much as he's trying to actually understand that feeling is nobody's mate, emotions is nobody's mate. When he goes back to his own private time and he's thinking that over again, he's going to continue to feel less than, right? Not because of the money, it's because the feelings, human being, just being a human being, you feel less than, you don't feel productive. If somebody around you doesn't feel productive because of your mouth, that's going to produce a correlating results, right? It's going to get worse. What you focus on expands, right? So if you focus on how much of how not good enough that money is, nothing is ever going to be good enough, because it's going to feel like it's not good enough, right? So as much as he tries to do the right thing in terms of emotionally, it's going to tamper with him, with his mindset, right? It might not be as, as emotionally intelligent as you expect him to be, because it's not a superhuman, and he might get to the point and say, nothing I do is ever good enough anyway. But it's not about the money. Well, it wasn't about the money too. It's just that the little bitty thing he brought to the table, you found a way to make it seem like it's nothing, right? And now he's at best is just confused, right? So what Chris actually said all the right things, but saying the right things is not good enough. It's never been good enough, right?
No, listen.
Stop doing that.
No.
Like you.
Watch this.
Be quiet.
All right, so watch this. This is a moment here. Hey, Olaido, good to see you. Watch this. Hit that like button if you're watching and you're getting some value out of this. Please hit the like button. Let's see if we can ping 3 more people into the room. Thank you. All right. Watch this.
Money, you're a good dude. Being a good dude has nothing to do with.
No, I'll handle it.
He said, no, I handle it. Be quiet.
Money, you're a good dude. Being a good dude has nothing to do with.
No, I'll handle it. Be quiet. No, listen.
Stop doing that.
No.
He said, I will handle that. Be quiet. And that's her reaction. Stop doing that. I keep telling you, it's not about right and wrong. But let's focus on what you think might create the wrong outcome. Not about what you're doing right now is right or wrong, okay? Just focus on you saying be quiet to your wife when she's already in a very testy place. Remember a little while ago, kissy kissy, okay, just literally a few minutes ago, we're less than 6 minutes into this video. We're only going to cover maybe 7 minutes of it today because we're rounding up right now, right?
Like, you don't have to do that. I don't like that.
I wanted to address that.
But you ain't have to do that. Like, stop, be quiet. You ain't got to do that.
Okay, I ain't mean it that way, y'all.
He said, I ain't mean it that way. He's apologized again, right? And then somebody said, you don't have to be quiet, period. Communication is key. All right, so everybody runs towards this communication thing. Communication, right? Yeah. Everybody is also very quick to tell us it's a two-way street, right? Well, when you say it's a two-way street, have you processed that properly? It also means the way you react. Okay? Babe, did you just tell me to be quiet? Did you just tell me to be quiet, babe? No, of course I didn't mean. Of course not. I just meant let me say something, right? Now, the way she just reacted, she's not wrong. Again, she's being the tension is thick, right? She was ready to pop off at somebody. Now, she's popping off indirectly at the people commenting and hating on her in the comment. But guess who is on the receiving end of it? This live session was a bad idea.
Like, stop, be quiet. You ain't got to do that.
Okay, I ain't mean it that way, y'all.
Now, the easy thing for me to tell you is that, hey, don't tell your wife be quiet. I think you already know that. Okay? I think most people that do it already know that that's a bad behavior. All right? The part that we tend not to know is what I'm talking about. When that happens, when crisis happens, how you react to it is all that matters. That's all that matters. Your reaction is basically action you're responsible for. Okay? Yep. Alright, so I beg, where do I send? There's a dollar thing on the screen. Just click the dollar thing, you can super chat, and on the screen you can see the Cashapp ways of on the screen is scrolling through the screen. I think it's $ Man of Prestige on Cashapp if you prefer that. But thank you, Olaido. Thank you. Let's see. Oh, he figured it out. Thank you. Thank you for the $19 super chat. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Thank you for that. Thank you. I appreciate you. I'm gonna play the song for you. Let me get 2 more minutes of this.
Let's get it back. No, you get it
She's pissed off.
back together.
You can say I'm gonna address it without be quiet. Like, that's so rude.
That is
it really
rude,
is.
baby. I apologize.
Thank you.
Can I have a sugar? If you don't want to, but you go do it. All right. So at the end of the day, and I'm sorry, baby, for real. At the end of the day, money's not everything.
I don't blame him for saying I'm sorry. I'm nitpicking his words, but I'm paying attention to the actions, okay?
And for the longest, the way I was raised is
that person came back and said, Chris, you're a good dude. Stop talking so much, Monique. Damn.
putting a lot of emphasis on.
So again, they're talking about right now, and now she's quiet, right? But she probably also feels some type of way.
Money. Money doesn't cure anything. You know, whatever issues you have, the money's only gonna magnify it. It is what it is. And once I entered into this marriage, I kind of looked at money as like, look what I brought to.
What he's doing right now is called shalaye. He's over explaining himself. Okay? It's called, what he's doing right now is called, it's called shalaye. And like I always say, shalaye is a bastard. It doesn't help. Don't water down the money you brought to the table. You provided for your family. And yeah, if she's complaining that you think it's about money, probably because you bring up money too much, right? When women say you think it's about money, that means you've been talking about money. Stop talking about money. Not just saying I brought money. Stop also explaining that money is not a good thing. Just leave the money topic alone completely. That's how you do it. You just don't bring it up again. Just don't bring it up again. Focus on what she's asking you to do. Don't over explain that money doesn't fix. No, money does help. Money is keke. Money is a tool. It's a fantastic tool. There's no need for you to over explain yourself. You need to focus on what she's asking for, right? And if she's complaining that you talk too much about money, or you think money is how you protect, then you just stop talking about money. You don't now explain and say, yeah, you're right, money doesn't really help anything. Actually, you're making it worse by even continue to talk in that direction. Okay? What you focus on, the mind doesn't understand, I don't want to talk about money. The don't word, it doesn't understand that. He just brought up money again, and she's getting pissed off the more. That's why somebody's in the comments saying, you're a good dude. You provided for your family. It's getting worse. It's getting worse and getting worse and getting worse. You know? Olaido says, Monique is a firecracker though. Sometimes I feel just because he thinks she's managing him. I think their marriage just got into a very, very bad place. He didn't know how to handle it. He's doing the over-pleasing thing, okay? As opposed to listening actively and making sure that he understands what's going on. He's jumping too quick into solutions, okay? You're not going to bring good solutions to the table if you're too fast about it. So here's what we're going to do. All right, we got to 1 hour mark, okay? But what I'm going to do is I'm going to definitely play your song for you. We're going to dance a little bit and we're going to round up, okay? And come back for part 2 tomorrow. That's what we're going to do, okay? We're definitely going to do part 2 of this. This is I'm enjoying it, but I think there's so much more lessons in it, you know. Let's do it. Yes, awesome. Yep, thank you so much, Olaido, for that. Cash App is scrolling on the screen, but I'll post it right now. Yes, this Cash App is $ Man of Prestige. Thank you. So that's all I have for today. I think the real lesson here today is I see how people can easily misconstrue the message today, okay? Because everyone is just, everybody's very testy, just like Monique. Dare I say, a lot of people are just firecrackers today. They overreact. They don't want to take the time. They're looking for shortcuts. This is the reason why they like the talking points. The talking points are one sentence that seems like an answer, a quick answer, and the answers are never that quick. It's going to take work, okay? There's going to be multiple angles to every issue, and every issue is a very, very difficult thing to walk, because it's worth it. Once you figure it out and you come out of it properly in a sustainable way, it's actually worth it. So it's going to take work. Anything that's worthwhile will take work. It's not going to take a talking point. Just boundaries. It's not going to boundaries. Narcissist. All that stuff is not going to help you. Okay? It's not going to help you, because it's never that simple, okay? What's going to help is that we continue to have this conversation and unpack layer by layer. There's too many layers to it, okay? Eventually, what you'll find is that you will notice some patterns like, wow, I discovered some things. Like, for example, today, that man is walking on eggshells, okay? Monique does not care, hasn't cared for a long time. Okay, probably for good reasons. Probably felt like she had put in too much in terms of emotionally over time, and she's just pissed off, right? And evidently she has filed for divorce now, right? So it's not about condemning either side. It's about understanding what was going on there. He's trying to understand what's going on, but he's very quick to conclude and try to repeat the points back to her and then have a solution. No, you don't have a solution. Okay? He needs to listen a little bit long. He needed to listen a little bit longer, because what happens is that he comes up with a solution. It sounds cute. It sounds like it matches what she's saying, but then he's holding in resentments, and then she can also tell that it wasn't real. You see that face? She could tell, like, I've heard this before, and they just blow up again, and they have a very big, nasty fight, and then it's like a cycle like that until one person is going to be tired sooner enough, and then say, we can't do this no longer. This is how it plays out. Has nothing to do with right or wrong. Okay? All right? You're dancing. Okay. Thank you so much, Olaido. I appreciate you for coming to bless us here. Thank you. Because of his money and his physique, and that was why she started her own business, and what his mom said to her from the get-go. Right. There was also in-law issues. So we'll see if we can unpack more of that tomorrow. We'll come back for part 2 tomorrow. Hopefully no crazy ass news come to take over the show. But we will continue tomorrow. We'll continue to a part 2 tomorrow. This is a good one. We're only 6 minutes into a 24-minute video. There's a lot more in there. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. On your way out, make sure you hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Okay. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.